to serve their country in the national interest. I also want to thank the British people, everyone who loves our great country, who works hard for their family and wants their children and grandchildren to enjoy greater opportunity than they did. Thank you for putting your faith in me and giving me the chance to serve. This is a country of aspiration and opportunity. And I hope that every young girl who has seen a woman Prime Minister now knows for sure that there are no limits to what they can achieve. Finally, and most of all, I want to thank my husband, Philip, who's been my greatest supporter and my closest companion.
That wasn't me.
I think the answer to that is I think not. I'm about to leave Downing Street, but I'm proud to continue as the Member of Parliament for Maidenhead. I will continue to do all I can to serve the national interest and play my part in making our United Kingdom a great country with a great future, a country that truly works for everyone.
Now we are coming to you with the live visuals from outside of number 10 Downing Street, where outgoing British Prime Minister Theresa May has just delivered her final address. Theresa May has given her final address. She will be going to Buckingham Palace now to tender her resignation to the Queen. She will continue to serve as an MP in her constituency, Maidenhead.
Are you done? Can we get the picture?
Now we can see the convoy there on their way, making their way to Buckingham Palace, where she will be handing in her resignation to the Queen. And we know later this evening, Boris Johnson will be taking his place as the PM of the United Kingdom. Now Theresa May will continue her work as an MP in her constituency, Maidenhead. She is heading towards Buckingham Palace. You can see the convoy making their way to Buckingham Palace from number 10 Downing Street, where she's been for the past 3 years. Of course, Theresa May tendered her resignation after thrice failing to get her Brexit deal approved. She says that she hopes to be an inspiration to young women, and as a female Prime Minister, that she can hopefully inspire young women to follow in her steps. Earlier today in the House of Commons, Palace, she delivered her address in a final question and answer session where members of Parliament asked her questions and she gave them her final replies. She has, of course, wished Boris Johnson the best, as he will be filling her shoes very shortly. We know Mrs. May had been struggling to get her Parliament support for the legislation needed to implement the deal that she proposed for Brexit with the EU. We know her deal was rejected 3 times. You can see they have now arrived at Buckingham Palace, where Theresa May will be tendering her resignation to the Queen. We can hear the crowds cheering Theresa May as she makes her way to the palace. Beautiful shot there of Buckingham Palace. Theresa May thanked her supporters in her outgoing address for their support during her stint as Prime Minister, and she thanked her husband for being her biggest supporter. You can see people gathering outside the palace as Theresa May is inside tendering her resignation. And later this evening, Boris Johnson will take over as the UK's Prime Minister. Now, Theresa May had to tender her resignation. She felt it was time for her to step down because of the referendum, the shocking results in 2016 where the UK voted to leave the European Union. And Theresa May tried to get her deal approved by her parliament. She failed not once, not twice, but thrice in getting her deal to be approved, and she has therefore said that it's time for her to step down and hand over the reins. And Boris Johnson was voted in yesterday by 160,000 odd members of parliament. He has a mantra of deliver Brexit and defeat Jeremy Corbyn. Now, Theresa May attended her last Parliament session as the UK Prime Minister earlier today. She will be shortly submitting her resignation to Queen Elizabeth. She is at Buckingham Palace now. This is after she had a very fiery question hour at the House of Commons. That is a weekly sitting. May did not mince her words while she was slamming her opposition leader, Jeremy Corbyn. She accused him at this question and answer session of playing petty politics. And May has revealed after leaving that she intends to serve her constituency, Maidenhead, as an MP. On Boris Johnson, her successor, she has said that she was proud to hand over her post to him. And Johnson is expected to depart for 10 Downing Street at about 8:30 p.m. India Standard Time. Some of the things she said in her final speech, in her final address outside number 10 Downing Street as Prime Minister. She said that she wishes Boris Johnson and his team every good fortune. She said that their successes would also be the successes of the entire country. And she says lots remains to be done in delivering Brexit and for the nation. And she's hoping that they can find a Brexit that works for the whole of the UK. She said then that Britain would have a bright future. She said on being Prime Minister that it was a heavy honour. To serve the UK as Prime Minister is a heavy honour. And she says that you can, in that position, achieve nothing on your own. After her hour-long question and answer session in the House of Commons, she said thanks to her staff, to the people in Parliament, to the people in the armed forces, to the public servants, in the schools and the NHS, as well as civil service. Now, Boris Johnson has a tough road ahead. He will be sworn in as Prime Minister of the UK shortly. He has promised to deliver Brexit with a deal or without. And before that, he has to appoint a cabinet. Let's take a look at some of the faces that are expected to be in Johnson's team. Now, one of the first things to do is to look for the finance ministry as the UK economy pummels over the Brexit uncertainty. The Interior Minister said Sajid Javid is expected to be the finance minister. Speculations are rife that Johnson would appoint career diplomat David Frost as the European Union Sherpa or the advisor to Europe. In fact, the reports suggest that Johnson will be appointing Brexit architect Dominic Cummings as his advisor. It was also said that 2 British Indians will get a berth in the Johnson cabinet. Former Aid Minister Priti Patel and Employment Minister Alok Sharma are expected to be in Johnson's team. Now, notably, according to reports, Johnson's main rival in the Prime Minister race, Jeremy Hunt, was offered the defence portfolio, which he has apparently turned down.